welcome to the Scaleswap podcast number 2. My name is Stan, and today we have fantastic co-founder of Hacken cybersecurity, Jane. Jane, welcome.
Hello, it's a pleasure to be here today.
Nice to see you. Nice to see you again. Today we have very interesting topic, and we want to speak about hackers and hacking, everything about this, especially related to Web3, because normally we hear about business fuck-ups in Web3, like FTX, like Sam Bankman-Fried, Celsius, so some vulnerabilities in the business logic. But in addition to business logic, there is also a big technical component to this. And, just to start, Jane, maybe you can explain what is an audit and what you are doing at Hacken at all, for those who are not aware of what
Yeah, sure. So my name is Evgenia. I'm a co-founder of Hacken. We're a cybersecurity company focusing on Web3 and helping blockchain projects to find vulnerabilities ahead of time before bad guys can exploit them and make the damage actually to the project. So you're right that this year we've heard a lot about, let's say, financial problems in the crypto projects like Celsius and other guys. This year was really fruitful for this kind of events. But I would say that we still have a big issue in technology side because by today, and the year is still not finished, we have around 4 billion losses that's connected with the problem with technical part, let's say, was the cybersecurity itself.
Wow.
And that's very interesting because in October, just like 2 months ago, it was like around 2.5 million, and then the numbers are growing very exponentially actually. I remember that 1 week like just another billion added to this number after Binance hack, and then other Mango markets and other events. So how we help actually to prevent that? We do security audits for different components of blockchain projects, let's say, because any project is about technology layer. Let's say it's about smart contracts, protocol itself, applications like web application, mobile applications, the apps, infrastructure. And there is something that's behind this level, like operational security, which is like internal security of the company. And honestly, this year we've seen also some hacks related to that, like who manages the keys, who get access to computer of employees, and a lot of other insider job. But I would say that at least prevent that on the application level, on the technology level, you can do a lot of different engagements, including audits. And audits couldn't be done in different manners. So it could be internal or external. The ideal case is when the audit is an integral part of secure software development lifecycle, and this is the process that you think about security in advance, not whilst the project is finished and you decided just to get another check. Because from our experience, some projects still consider security as a feature, not as the vital part of the project.
Even in Web3.
Yeah, unfortunately. And I remember when we started working with Scaleswap, I remember your approach, how you started thinking about security while you're actually building your product. And I think that's the wise approach for security mindset first, because you start from day zero, and then you're just increasing the security engagement, I would say, and integrate this to every part starting from architecture. Was it the case for you, as far as I remember?
Yes, it was case for us, but the reason is also my background. So I'm CTO at Scaleswap, and my background is cybersecurity, corporate cybersecurity, and there we learned to do security by design. And this is exactly what I brought into the startup world and the world of Web3, because how I think about Web3 is that Web3 should be everything about security. Essentially, we are dealing with transaction. So every blockchain is a transactional layer, right? And if transactions are executed in a wrong way, then we have a loss. And this loss cannot be restored. So it's not like a bank is hacked, but the bank has unlimited amount of money. So bank can produce money, can borrow money from, for example, European Commission, and continue to work. If you work on decentralized ledgers, everything what is lost is lost. No one can restore this. And I think this is a very important difference to Web2 or to traditional finance, right?
Yeah.
But you told about numbers, so such big numbers. You said 4 billion loss in
Yeah,
this
like
year.
3 and 3.6 or something like that, and it's still not not the end of the
Incredible.
month. We still have time to go.
Incredible. And do you know? Do you remember what last year rise of blockchains, rise of
Yeah, I have
crypto?
numbers actually, annual losses. So in 2021 it was around 10 billion. In 2020 it was 4. In 2019, 10, more than 10. Yeah, it's actually interesting consequences. So 10,
Yeah.
4, almost 10, 4. What should we expect next year? We never know.
Um, well, I believe that I mean we should be transparent. We are in a bear market now, and probably the next year, 2023, will be the beer year, most probably. But this is also good. It's time to clear our ecosystem and also to focus on many things, not only business but also security wise, right? Because numbers, what you are telling, is in the range of FTX disaster. And everyone speaks about FTX, but besides of FTX, there is maybe not so famous but hidden layers or hidden loss of money, like due to security hacks. And by the way, Jane, do you know what happens with stolen money normally? For example, if hacker is able to hijack a vulnerable smart contract and is able to steal millions of stable coins, what
Yeah,
happens
actually,
then?
it really varies project by project, because the ideal case how attackers approach that they just stole money, just withdraw it, goes through different mixers or something else, and it's done. But in the fact, in 2022, we already have a lot of kind of prevention mechanisms for that. For example, there is a consortium of crypto exchanges, and they have this blacklists. Once there's something happened, they can like prevent this money coming to exchange or withdrawing from exchange. And other major providers also integrate these blacklists in order not to allow hackers to withdraw this money. And this like blacklists really helps. And the incident response time also helps if it can be in timely manner applied. Also, there are cases when hackers just send money back for some bounty. And when project teams communicate with hackers on Twitter saying that please return money, we'll pay you commission or whatsoever. As far as I remember, this year were also some of cases like that.
Mm,
Yeah, but
I think,
I don't remember the names, but I remember that there were such cases. And it's interesting because there's different procedures for that, and of course there is also legal implications when projects make the how it's called the legal make a legal case out of that, and police of the country try to investigate that. I don't remember successful cases on that, but the process exists.
probably not so high. I remember that Tornado Cash, this is a famous mixer service, and for those who don't know, mixer service is a smart contract which can mix incoming transaction and make different outputs. So basically, you cannot connect funds from one wallet to the funds from another wallet. Because if, for example, you have a wallet of a hacker and the hacker transfers to another wallet, then you can connect this, right? You see this, but a mixer can prevent this, right?
Yeah.
And Tornado Cash was, let's say, legally suited in US, and the founder Tornado Cash as well. And I believe the mixer contracts are no more usable now. So basically, what I mean, if you use mixer contract and your output money is from the mixer contract and you go to central exchange, you will be not able to withdraw money. Am I right, or do you heard about this?
I mean, yeah, for central exchanges, if they applied these rules immediately of blacklisting these wallets, yes. If that is going through Mixer, that would be more difficult to do that. And honestly, I don't know. As far as I remember, there is analogies of Tornado Cash, which continue working. And
Which are similar, right? But you can, you can identify these contracts which do this logic of mixing, and you can say, okay, every transaction which comes from this kind of smart contracts, this is a bad transaction.
have you seen such solutions?
Not really. This is my question. If you believe
it's actually a great great idea. I'm not sure if any exchange implemented that, but that could be a good case.
Maybe it's a new product for Hacken Scaleswap.
Yeah, could be.
Okay. But interesting, mind-blowing numbers. I mean, it just in the same range like these business fuck-ups in Web3
Yeah, and
space.
you know the importance of security, especially in Web3, where everything is transparent and open. I think it's vital because for example, in banks, you might know about the incident in a month, in a week, weeks actually, if that happens, and the customers would be notified or not be notified, depends on the procedures and everything. But in crypto, everyone knows just straight away, just like there is a lot of monitoring tools. And if you just read Twitter on the daily basis, on the hourly basis, you would definitely be the first knowing about that the hack is going on. And usually what we see, the public communication of projects, it's very important, and the timely reaction to that. Because there are a lot of monitoring solutions just notify, not asking projects that like the hack is going on, the money is stolen, here is the whole way of money. Yeah, so in crypto everything is transparent, and it's better to be ready for this kind of situations and make everything to prevent this kind of risks, or at least, yeah, you can't prevent fully, but at least minimize.
Right. And just to understand better how you at Hacken are working, maybe you can tell some common security vulnerabilities, what you encounter very often from your clients. Is this something where a developer should put attention on?
Yeah, that's a good question. So was 5 years of auditing and auditing like thousands of projects. Definitely, the like technological issues, I would say they are decreasing because there are a lot already analyzers, scanners, templates that like guards and libraries how to prevent typical like reentrancy attacks and other stuff. But what is still common is the business logic and how the broad projects are developed, because usually in crypto, especially in the bull market, everything should be done for yesterday with the remote outsourced decentralized teams. And that's a huge problem, because usually when we start audit, we ask for documentation, we ask for white papers, we ask for test coverage, and code itself. And sometimes all these components like has the different logic described, and that's the problem. Because and the website, of course, you state something on the website that you would do this to distribution, this percentage, and then in the and in the end in the contract you have something different. And the problem of this business logic, how it should work, what's the requirements for this contract, and how it should be followed, that's a question. I would say due to a lot of reasons, like not professional teams, decentralized, distributed all over the world, not communicating enough. There is no clear document. There is always no time for documentation, of course. There is less time for tests, and what we see that this can be easily like missed in terms of business logic, and it's something that we can see like over every project.
Interesting. But speaking further about this problem, what would you say about typical Web3 developers? would you say they should upgrade their security skills more than others? Because what I have experienced that many people come into Web3, they are not so professional in security. They are Web2 developers, maybe good one, Java, JavaScript, but they don't think in security because
That's not their job.
it's a change of
Yeah, of
paradigm.
course. I mean, I would say that let's be honest. Even in Web two, not a lot of people think about security, but the market there is like a way bigger. I would
Mm-hmm.
say that the problem is that like the technology is relatively new. You can learn the language itself. You can see what common vulnerabilities exist on the market. Actually, there is the standard common vulnerabilities, like solidity vulnerability, something like that, where you can see all the vulnerabilities up to date with all the test cases, how to how to detect them, and you can easily make sure that like you've done everything possible to minimize the risks of technical vulnerabilities in smart contracts. But it should be in your mind, because usually security, that it's something that want to generate you money, you can launch the project without that, but then there is a chance that something
Mm-hmm.
won't happen, and but there is still a huge chance that something will happen, and that's the problem. There is a lot of materials, there is a lot
Sure.
of templates, libraries. So yes, it could be minimized if it's the focus for the team. And I've seen different.
But by the way, you.
Yeah, because sometimes there were interesting
Mm,
case where we were teaching the outsourced developers about security, because we send them the report, I don't know, for 100 pages, and they just didn't understand what it means and how to fix it and why even it's important. And we were having 2 hours call with the developers, founders, and auditors to to explain line by line.
it's your
Yeah,
job,
that's
right?
true.
It's your job. And this is what I want to ask. If you have at Hacken kind of academy for developers to upgrade security skills, maybe for outside developers who just want to upgrade security skills, uh, implement the security way of thinking. Do you offer this?
No, we're not academy. We still have our internal programs for auditors and security engineers that we use for like onboarding education, but there is nothing for public. Yeah, we have some articles on the blog with some useful materials, like where to look for about security in smart contracts, so what typical vulnerabilities, and if you know that there is a kind of they're like training machines for smart contracts, like kind of CTFs, where you can train your skills of finding vulnerability, like spotting vulnerabilities in smart contracts, and in this way you can train.
Mm, yeah, great. And you know, we had a short conversation about AI before. If you think about recent AI development, and OpenAI released ChatGPT, and everyone is now freaking out about ChatGPT and LinkedIn and everywhere. It's a kind of most important topic now. Do you believe AI can be a serious threat to the space? So if a hacker can use AI to overcome, to find vulnerabilities, have you thought about this at Hacken?
Yeah, yeah, of course. Like last week or 2 weeks ago, like ChatGPT were like a big topic in Twitter. Everyone was posting their screenshots about
Yeah.
requests, and there were quite a big topic regarding security, how to exploit this. Please write an exploit, or like please spot vulnerability here. But still, it's not that advanced in terms of security and spotting vulnerabilities. But still, basic stuff can be found. At least what the scanners do, and like static analyzers and other stuff. I think it's really interesting. But I also saw that there is vulnerabilities in this ChatGPT as well. I don't remember the exact cases, but
Really?
like hackers were trying to bypass the business logic of that to manipulate the requests. I don't remember the exact cases, but there were some, and it's interesting. If you are talking about AI in general, of course, I think in Web3 it's definitely a big topic, especially as we have everything public and can easily like teach AI for all the all the smart contract vulnerabilities, all the transaction details, and everything. And based on that, we can definitely build a safer future. We're at Hacken considering this, but not actively developing something. But I know that other teams are quite like working on that quite hard and using just all the smart contracts from GitHub to build some models how to how to write secure code and how to prevent vulnerabilities before they even deploy the contracts.
Mm, interesting. I mean, it's like development of a virus, right? Virus and immune system. It's always a competition,
Yeah, that's true.
and but because everything is optimized now and AI is developing so fast, so exponential fast, I can kind of think that in very nearest future, hackers will use AI to hijack systems. So you have to use AI to prevent maybe in
Yeah,
future
of course. Like even
somehow.
in Web 2, there are a lot of kind of AI scanners that use all this, past
Mm,
experience to detect vulnerabilities, and definitely in Web 3 there will be, uh, or already happening, the big topic for that.
okay, all right. Now, speaking about recent hacks and the industry, I mean, it's clear to us our industry is damaged by all the negative sentiment this year, and we need to improve 2023. We need to deliver very good use cases, real, which bring real value, right, to people, not just blockchain because of blockchain, but blockchain because blockchain is make really sense, right?
Yeah. I mean, of
And
course, I guess that's a cycle of the market where we just clear up everything that didn't work and continue building the decent solutions that can help the industry.
but do you see any? I mean, maybe it's similar question to before. Do you see any way of thinking what needs to be adapted to prevent major hacks, let's say, or to prevent such big fuck ups like we saw recently? What should
Yeah,
projects
that's
do?
Yeah, it's actually interesting. We've been discussed that recently that during bull market, everyone just were just asking for token security audit, and it was enough for just to to trust the project. But in fact, if we think about that, that's definitely not the case because token smart contract is like just a small part of all the project, let's say, and audit in Web 3 is not what's happening in real world with the audits, because audits is not about only technology, it's also about processes, people, and like general infrastructure and everything. And it shows us the case with the recent FTX and other stuff that it's not enough to have security. And actually the problem is not in security at all. The problem for exchanges now that the like reserves and liabilities are not at the same level, and that
Hmm.
there should be different audits done, like proof of reserves, how it's called now, or like, and liabilities. And it's not something that can be done on chain, because for a lot of exchanges it's something on the back end and off chain that's the real auditor, like from Big Four or whoever, should go there and check that transaction. Of course, they can use different like methods like Merkle tree and other stuff, but still,
Hmm.
I would say that for to bring trust back, we would need to work really hard. And it's not only about security; it's more about complex approach to the projects, like we have in Web 2.
And do you think that regulation can be one of the helping hands here? I mean, I am not. I mean, I see regulation a bit different, but I also believe that kind of regulation is required. Well, and not because regulation is exactly what we spoke about. It's not technical test. It's like more business test. It's more proof of reserves, right? Are you working somehow with regulators? Do you know what is coming on next year, 2023?
I would say that industry now more on the self-regulation state, where the independent parties try to push that. I I, I think that the one of the brightest cases, for example, CoinMarketCap or CoinGecko, where they have this now, they have proof of reserves tab for every exchange, and they have the links to that audits. So in this way, they push exchanges to be more transparent because it influences their trust score on the aggregators, where there are a lot of traffic they receive from. And also that's what happened with security. We started working with CoinGecko a couple of years ago, and for crypto exchanges, they have this trust score, and 2.2 out of 10 points is for cybersecurity, which means that like crypto exchanges should provide their regular penetration test reports, ongoing bug bounty program, ISO, SOC 2, and others like certifications for regular companies. We can like count the hack cases, the product security, and a lot of other metrics that helps at least for regular users to understand whether I should trust this exchange and like bring my money there. And that's one case. And so the next wave is about all the tokens. That's something that we started doing this year in May. We integrated this security metric to CoinGecko as well. So if you go to any coin on CoinGecko, there is a security tab where you can see what security engagements the projects did, like audits, bug bounties, insurance, and it lists something. So as for regulations, I would say that major industry players force this to build the trust in the industry. And it's not only about aggregators, it's about exchanges, for example. They ask projects for security audit. That's a question what they ask for, because usually just simple ERC20 token audit, nothing connected with the real product. But that's another question. And for example, VCs, they also ask for security audits before making investments. Like in traditional world, they do due diligence, and part of this due diligence is security.
Yeah, it should be simply implemented in the way of thinking, right? So that security audit is something
it's a vital part of the general due diligence. Yeah, and also as for regulations, there are a lot of attempts to do that. The one of the most regulated, I would say, there is parts of the industry is crypto exchanges, because to get the license, they need to pass through the audit, and this audit includes cybersecurity as well. For example, we've been working with different exchanges who was getting licenses on Malta, on Arabic countries in US. And the part of that is cybersecurity. Another problem is that they don't know what to ask in the cybersecurity section. That's why it looks like just copy paste of some like random stuff. But still, I mean, it's something. It's the beginning, and at least they think about that.
Okay, so you are, let's say, staying in this market, and you follow up new developments here, right? By the way, how do you upgrade skills of your security auditors? Maybe your own skill, because I know your background is also, right, security. It's not like you're just for fun in Hacken, or maybe yes.
Yeah, I started in security 10 years ago. I have a master's degree in cybersecurity and some professional certifications. And also just wanted to add to the response to the market. We're recently also starting doing this proof of reserves for exchanges, because that's something we believe in, and it's something about bringing the trust back to the market and being the auditor, but not on the security part, but more on the financial part. As for upgrading skills of the auditors, definitely we have internal educational programs for them. We share all the knowledge we get during all the audits. Team has updates their internal database in terms of techniques, vulnerabilities and patterns. And also, as far as we have bug bounty platform, and we triage a lot of vulnerabilities, so we're up to date with the recent methods and the recent vulnerabilities that's going on the market.
Yeah, I can approve this, because knowing guys from Hacken, You are doing a really good job in this regard. So, you know, we have many questions from the community, and time is running so fast. I see we are half hour speaking. Maybe just to come back to more personal level, would you say that non-custodial wallets, or other question, how non-custodial wallets provides a greater security than traditional custodial wallets?
I mean, I guess the phrase "not your keys, not your money" is the best to describe that. Of course, there is a trade-off between usability and security, as usual. I would say non-custodial wallets. So you're not dependent on third party who actually keeps these keys and manages for you. And as we see, we better not to trust third
Okay.
parties. And it's better to manage everything by yourself, because I mean, in this way you control your money, not someone else.
And for our watchers, users, speaking about hardware wallet and software wallet like MetaMask, what would you propose to these people? How to use better hardware wallet, software wallet, or
Yeah,
mix them somehow?
yeah, that's again trade-off between usability and security. And I would say that, like, having a cold wallet, like hardware wallet as a cold wallet, and software wallet as a hot wallet, is the most logical solution. But it's the matter of like how you distribute your money, how actively you use them. So yeah, it's should be balanced between that.
Mm-hmm. And by the way, are there known hacks of hardware wallet, of cold wallet? Maybe you are aware of.
I know about vulnerabilities that's happening. If we are talking about the hardware company, like hardware wallet company, there were some leakages of emails and something else, but there is nothing to do with the hardware wallet itself and the keys there. I know that for major hardware wallets, they have bug bounty programs ongoing, and I remember public vulnerabilities described in the hardware itself. It's very difficult to do. There's like really limited resources who understand how to do that, but still there is guys who are just doing that in the laboratory, like testing the hardware wallets, how to extract keys from all that hardware. It's really hard work, but I've seen some cases like that. And the hardware companies, that they usually timely react to all this matter if that's possible.
So you cannot be 100% secure, right? There is no
You
100% security, only
Yeah, I don't. No,
99.9.
there is this joke that the securest computer software is something that's out of electricity underground. I don't know. Of course, there is no such thing as 100% security. You should know. You're also from security.
Yeah, I know, I know. I just want to hear this from
Yeah,
you.
all the stuff we can do is always about minimizing risks, and yeah, and being aware of these risks.
You're right. Unfortunately, I see our time goes to the somehow to the end. Maybe you can tell us about Hacken and your plans in 2023. Do you have something fancy what you can share with our community?
Yeah, so we at Hacken grew this year quite fast, and now we have R&D department which focuses on building new solutions for the market, which is definitely connected with trust and security. And there is this project's just under development. Also working on some monitoring solutions for smart contracts and other stuff, and of course putting more efforts on and making the customer excellence in terms of audits, because that's a huge volume we process and increase this day by day. And I'll focus on methodologies, how to do that for different chains, because we work not only with EVMs but also with NIR, Solana, and Aptos, and all the other new chains that are launched this year. Yeah. So two service lines, two lines, service and products, and working on that direction to bring trust and security to Web3.
Very cool. Curious to see your products, by the way, because I know that you are excellent in providing auditing services, but products wise, it's very interesting to see.
Yeah, definitely sure.
Yeah. Jane, thank you very much that you participate in this podcast. It's our second attempt, but I think it was quite good. Thank you for sharing your insights from the industry, and let's repeat this somewhere.
Yeah, sure. Thank you a lot, and good luck with the podcast and sharing the knowledge across the community.
Will do. And guys, thank you very much for being with us. Please subscribe, like, and let us know about your opinion. Bye bye. Have a great day.